All right, so let's get started with episode 31 of 500 Cats. The podcast's about, who knows, literally.
Who knows?
Me and Marcus are reporting from
about cats.
Qatar. So we're coming in from
Yep.
Qatar. We're actually
Live
not
from Qatar.
We're actually not coming in from Qatar because we went to the airport last night to have our flight canceled to Qatar. And then they booked us on a flight that would have left last night and got us into Qatar tomorrow.
Would you have otherwise made it by now? Or would you still be in the air?
We would be, like, when I looked like a couple hours ago, it said our flight had 3 hours left. So we'd be landing like now. So yeah, it's a long journey to get to Qatar. We'll talk more about that. But overall, for a canceled flight, it was a pretty good experience.
You got to sleep
Yeah,
in your own bed.
surprisingly.
Yeah, we had a beer at DIA and then headed home. So,
Yeah.
and spent one more day, but it's kind of a ripoff because that one more day is just getting ready to travel around the world. And as I said,
Yep.
we'll talk about Qatar in a little bit. We're going over there for the Samla 200, which is not a triathlon, to be clear. It's a multi-sport race that includes swimming, biking, running, kayaking, and shooting.
And shooting?
Did I miss anything?
I didn't think it
No, I
had
think
shooting.
that's it. Oh, I thought it did.
And we're
Good talk.
I think everybody just started thinking about our shooting graphics, like, I wonder what those are going to look like. Anyway, we're going to start with some same old that we've been on the road traveling to events, and it's turned into an epidemic. And the epidemic is autoresponders.
Oh my gosh.
It's
So sick of them.
It's gotten to the point of insanity that you're at an event, you need to send an email about the event to the principals of the event, and you get a whole bunch of emails back in response that say, sorry, we're out of the office. We can't respond to your email. And then later at some point in the day, somebody comes up and basically asks you the question you asked. Hey, did we ever figure this out? Well, I don't know. You auto-responded. And I'm going to make a bold statement. People that use autoresponders in general aren't good at email to start with. That it's like a excuse. I'm not good at email, but here's why. And I know some people use autoresponders correctly, and I apologize to you, one or two people out there in the world.
What drives me crazy is you sent me an email this morning
Asking me a question.
and I respond and you're out of office. You're not out of office. You're working. You sent me an email this morning
Literally this morning. This happened today.
and then I respond, hey, thanks for reaching out. Great information. I'm out of the office till December 1st. No, you're not.
What's the purpose, too, of saying, I already know you don't get back to emails, so why are you sending me an email saying I'm not going to get back to you? And again, I'm going to point the finger at people. The people that use autoresponders, may be forced to by a corporate policy set up by somebody that doesn't respond to email. And so it's like a check in the box of like, well, I think I see you got my autoresponder on the 3rd. And you're like, yeah, today's the 30th. And we're just hoping to get, did you want red or green? So anyway, that's my rant on autoresponders.
Mic drop.
And the only thing that's worse than an autoresponder is no
He's
response
not
at all.
responding. Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's turned into an epidemic with email that it really should be really straightforward stuff.
What's the difference between no response and an out of office? You're not getting a response anyway.
And that's the thing about the out of office. It isn't usually followed up with an email later.
Hey, back in the office.
I'm back, like the one today, I'm out till the 1st. There's not going to be a response the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th of December. We'll have to follow up with an email saying, where are we at on this project? That really only matters to you.
Yeah, we're just trying to help you out here, buddy.
I think we should start sending emails that say, if you send an autoresponder, we'll take that as direction to proceed at our leisure.
Yes.
So
I
Approved.
like it.
So we've been to some fun events. I know that Ryan and Dylan And John Michelle, you guys went to Spain for the
We did.
Ironman 70.3 World Championships.
Marbella.
Marbella. It was wonderful.
It was beautiful.
It was rough because we were kind of on survival mode. I was like dealing with an injury and Ryan got sick, but
We made it through.
we made it through.
2 great races.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard y'all had an adventure.
Yeah. And then our bags are still in Europe.
Not as of like last night. So, man.
We paid $2,000 for bags that took 10 some days to get here. And it was a lot of it was equipment that then we had to purchase new equipment to go to Samla, which then our flight got canceled and then the bag showed up.
And so now we have extra equipment.
So now we
Yay.
have extra. But our new Unify Dream Machine Mini is a Wi-Fi 7 one.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so we
I
did
didn't know
upgrade.
that. Cool.
Yeah, no, but all in all, 2 great days of broadcasting and racing in Spain. The internet setup was pretty straightforward. Pretty happy we brought the equipment we did. They ran like 4 miles of fiber.
Yeah, I was impressed with the Spanish ISP where they dropped essentially fiber modems, like in random places on the beach. I think there was a grand total of 7 of them. And they ran fiber to them from a hole in the brick wall on the beach. And they all worked great. I couldn't believe the fiber runs that they ran that were like under the main porta potty entrances that people just walked on all week.
And they were fine.
Yeah.
They had like bulletproof fiber.
That's bold.
Yeah. We noticed like on like one of the last days,
Like,
like,
oh,
hey,
hey,
that's our fiber.
That came unburied. But all in all, an impressive event. They completely transformed this beach into a triathlon mecca. The flooring they put down, the bridges they built, everything looked really good. It was really sharp and well done. So
Kudos to the operations team.
Yeah.
It's the best looking 70.3 world championship I've seen
yeah,
Nice.
easily.
yeah.
Me and Marcus
Awesome.
were here in the studio for that, which was, it's hard to stay up overnight 2 nights in a row. I mean,
It is
it wasn't
real
that
hard.
hard. I think I was more worried about it than it ended up being hard.
Hmm.
But I did go home and get a nap in. I guess that would be Saturday.
I slept horribly between those races and before. Like, I don't know why, but I had like 3 hours of sleep going into night 1, and I think I got another 3 hours of sleep the second night.
So, and I'm not going to recommend this as advice, but it worked really well. Is I went out to lunch with my family at like 11:30 a.m. on Saturday and housed a few beers. So then when I got home from lunch, I was ready for a nap. And then one of the other big standout things from Marbella, which is in Spain, by the way, was the broadcast viewer feedback was exceptional.
Yeah, it was like 10 out of 10. Great job, team. You guys did a wonderful job. We love you.
Never felt so valued.
That's why I get up in the morning is to read those comments.
The YouTube comments were, and I don't know if I've ever seen this before, where the YouTube comments carried over from the broadcast to other places on social media, so that, and this was the Ironman 70.3 World Championship. So then if they just posted, hey, come race in California this spring, people were like, well, are you going to broadcast it?
No.
And so it was heavy duty, and it was all around what frequently happens in broadcasting is that, it's all wireless, it's all cellular bonded, and a camera goes out at a bad time, and people missed some action. And
Like 5 steps of.
they didn't miss any real action.
They didn't miss anything.
But people love to complain. Like that is, I've really gotten hypersensitive, not just to us, but watching other broadcasts, and people just, they just, it's not just us.
No.
Like if you want to see a brand that gets beaten to death is the Epic Pass or the Icon Pass, and those are ski passes.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, 2 inches of snow, and somebody's just like, F you, your stuff's too expensive.
You know what's funny is
You're ruining skiing.
I scrolled upon a live rebroadcast of the Senate vote for the Epstein files, and their comments were almost as bad as ours.
It's
Almost as bad?
Almost.
Almost?
So we're
man,
worse than the
that's sad.
government.
No, it really is all the same. People are just nasty people on comment sections, and
We should
it's incredible.
It's weird how sometimes it gets to me. And I'll be honest, like a couple of the Lifetime Grand Prix events, it got to me and got the best of me where I responded and then had to take my post down.
The little sugar stuff bothered me a little bit.
Yes. And that's one where me and Dylan and Ryan were in a establishment in Bentonville, Arkansas. And then we all posted, and then we got a call from leadership that was like, take that down.
That's our own people.
We used our real name.
Yeah. I was.
My username's like Ryan Kelly 1394632. Like I'm not hiding who I am here.
Yeah, D Downey 11.
I want you to know.
Yeah. Well, I think I was most upset because I kind of took some of the Schwamigan comments and I was like, okay, they want more action. They want less fluff. I put less fluff in. Like, where's the fluff? And you're like, I literally can't win with you people. It's horrible.
You can't win, but for whatever reason, back to Marbella, it just didn't bother me. It was just so outlandish, and it's like the same, 25, 30 people that just post 200 or 300 comments about the same thing, which is. I've brought this up many a times on our podcast, and I know he didn't invent this saying, but Justin Metzler is the one that brought it to my attention, that people that post that negative stuff aren't doing better than you are. No. And I listened to a podcast, and I can't even think of the guy's name right now. He did the wine check.
Gary V. And
he says the same thing a lot, that these people out there posting aren't posting because they're doing better at their job or they're doing better in life. They're posting because they're miserable. But anyway, some of the posts were, there was some validity to some of it, you can still go find remnants.
I wish I could comment on their life's work.
Ooh,
I know what those
wrong
are.
podcast for that package.
I'm gonna have to step out for a second here, boys.
What just walked in the door?
Ryan got a pair of skis.
Nice.
So, anything else to talk about on Marbella? I thought it went good in the studio. It's a complicated broadcast. All the big ones are complicated because we went to China again, we went to everywhere in Europe. There's so many different variants and versions of the broadcast that it's gotten complicated. And I hadn't been in the studio for since Nice, and it took me a couple days to remember how everything works, which is probably senility or dementia or something like that. But
I think it went well. At least, the positive light to us as broadcasters is the big villain that is the center of attention these days on social media and news is the airport. I think the story of the broadcast has moved on. The lost baggage was not just us. It was,
everybody's bike didn't make it home.
Yeah, they just didn't even try. And Facebook was blown up, and a lot of very nice people making some very nice comments about people and how they do their jobs.
My favorite one was, though, blaming the baggage situation on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Which I was like, well played.
Well, we did have 13 bags that added to the over volume, I suppose, because of the broadcast.
It's interesting to me that we used to be able to do these events that are essentially unchanged from 5 years ago with 2 bags. Yeah. And now it's 10 bags.
Yeah. And a lot of weight. I mean, it was I think we totaled it up to about 700 pounds of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was great. That same week we had a corporate event. We only do a few corporate events a year, but I like them because it's such a different speed. It's a different pace. A lot of times they're more amped up than a live event, a corporate event, but this one wasn't. And it was CSRA. Dylan, you'll have to remind me, Construction Safety Research Alliance. And that's I don't know what you call it. It's part of the University of Colorado.
A college of CU Boulder.
And it's all focused on, this conference is focused on keeping people safe in construction. And they're talking about enterprise size construction. I'm sure that's not all they're talking about, But I don't think they're talking about like Jim and his dad pounding nails.
Yeah.
They're talking about big stuff, concrete trucks,
Yeah.
things like that.
And high level topics of it. It's not just like, hey, make sure you wear your steel-toed boots when you're on the construction site. No, it's more like the annual recap of the latest research of construction safety and what they might implement in future.
It's
safety
interesting.
lessons. Super interesting.
It is. It was cool to sit through, like the presentations and stuff were good, and not only were they good and relevant to construction, obviously, several of them were relevant to what we do.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think the one that was most relevant to what we do was their correlation between last minute changes and the potential for injury and mistakes. So it wasn't always injuries, but mistakes. And I think we see that especially in broadcasting when there's a change at the last minute and sometimes necessary, sometimes not.
Yeah.
A necessary change would have been like what happened at Big Sugar where the course got shortened to 50 miles and we were out on the course driving a course that we had not driven, which made it exciting. But but I thought back to CSRA, it was very interesting, and a lot of our corporate conferences are either less interesting or, to be honest, we're not smart enough to follow along with the blockchain conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't even kind of follow along with that stuff.
How is the new venue? What is the new venue? And
the Julian Hotel, or I'm sorry, I got that way wrong.
Julian, wow.
The Limelight Hotel on the hill in Boulder, and it's fantastic. It's just barely ready to be open. There was a lot of this doesn't work yet, but I would definitely have a conference there. The people were very nice. They wanted us to be successful. And then our customers seemed to be, I think was this our third year doing the conference with them. They were really dialed in this year, and they really had it going well and smooth. A person that we report to, Eileen, is amazing. His attention to detail is just a great all around customer.
You ask her, she's very, she's not really confident in herself as an event planner because that's not what she is. She's like, in charge of this construction safety research alliance. And so every time you talk to her, she's like, I don't plan events. I don't know what I'm doing. But man, she's better than the best of them.
She's a great event planner.
Yeah.
So Marcus, is it more boring, more interesting, or about the same as like Business of Running or Running USA?
I would say equally. Business of Running this year was exceptional, but like CSRA surprised me because I didn't expect to enjoy the presentations just because they're not as applicable. Business of Running does have application in what we do day-to-day life. CSRA, construction safety, you wouldn't think that it would be super relevant, but I was blown away by how relevant it was and how good it was. There was that one guy who started with, he was like, I'm going to tell you a story about a friend of mine, and just tells the story. I'm crying behind the tech table because he's telling a story about a guy who passed away and how they used that to, and it wasn't in construction, but it was a beautiful story, and he told it really well, and you're just like, man, some people are just really good at presenting regardless of what the topic is.
Yeah.
That guy was a master class at public speaking because he started out by saying, here's the characters and here's their relevance. And he didn't use those words, but he said, let me tell you a story about Jim. And actually the story was about the person that died's wife, is what the end of the story was about, and what she had to go through. And let's not put anybody else through this same thing. It was remarkable. And it's a hybrid conference. So there's a few hundred people on site and there's hundreds of people online. And so we do a mix of on-site AV, and then we broadcast it back here to the studio, and then we send it out from the studio to a Vimeo page that has a live chat so that people can chat back and forth and ask questions. And then during the intermission of the on-site conference, we do a online Q&A with the presenters so the people online can specifically ask questions. It's pretty cool. It's innovative. Like, we don't do a lot of corporate events that are that dialed in and that digital and that interactive.
It's cool. Like, how often do we get to do a corporate event where we do every single tiny little piece of the detail, where, you know, a lot of times we show up and we just do live streaming, or we just record a video, or we just do the audio, and we always have to work with another AV team doing another piece of it. But it's cool to be complete turnkey on that one.
We're better at giving ourselves audio than
Yes.
So we missed having Dylan there because it's not a super complex audio setup, but we had to chuck Dylan's fancy digital mixer in the trash.
Had to simplify it a bit.
and break out our old Mackie 1402, which
Reliable.
was one aux short, but where do you go get that one extra aux if you need it?
Headphones.
Headphone jack, baby.
Headphone jack, baby. So that was a good one. And then, so we kind of a little bit went out of order there because CSRA was midweek and then Marbella was that weekend. And then, that no rest for almost anybody. Marcus, you came in and did all the post-race stuff for Marbella on Monday and then headed to Ironman Arizona on Tuesday. And I don't even know how it went. Did it go good, I guess?
It was fine.
It was the last
No,
year.
it's sad because it's the last year. Like, it's a good race. It's always a great race. And it was a good year for it to be the last year. Like, everything went well. We had good weather. There was a fear of rain the night before the race, which would have impacted if it rains more than 0.2 inches. They are required to retest the water for like E. coli and everything that they test it for. And that test takes 18 to 24 hours. So if it had rained, they would have to cancel the swim, not because it was dangerous, but because it has to be retested based on the rules of that governing body of the water.
Man,
thankfully,
that'd be a hard pill to
Wouldn't that be
swallow as an
terrible?
athlete. It's like sunny morning. It's, kind of wet and nice and cool. And anyway, go ahead.
Well, and it would suck for, like, that's what everybody was worried about. Is like, man, this is the last year. We're going to say goodbye to this race with no swim. That sucks. Ended up having a swim. Race went great.
Mike Riley came.
Mike Riley came. That was honestly probably the highlight. So Dee Griesbauer, who's a big friend of the pod, as well as Meredith Kessler, both finished their careers, retired, with that being the last race that they've done. And I think there's about 7 people who did it as their retirement race. The only other one I know the name of, that I remember the name of, is Mel McQuaid.
And I was wondering if that was her last race too. And
Wow.
you guys did a great job on the video, by the way.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, there's no way to see it, but you guys did a great job of showing Dee Dee and Meredith and Melanie McQuaid in this like triple embrace at the finish line, which I thought was super cool because those have all been people that have been super supportive of us all through the years. So
it was really neat. And so that morning at like 4 a.m., Mike just said, "I'm coming." And he got in his car and he drove 4 hours or whatever it is and showed up around midday. And he came specifically to announce their final finish. And Luis Alvarez was completing his 215th, which is the same number of Ironmans that Mike announced. So Luis has now caught Mike's number of Ironmans, and obviously will be passing it now because Mike retired.
Mike's going to need to get back to work.
Yeah.
Man,
But it was awesome because he came to announce 4 names and then ended up getting on the mic for an hour, and it was so awesome to have him back. Like it just felt
Yeah.
good. And I knew so actually last year in Arizona, we have a podcast on here that's it's called The Coolest Cats I've Ever Met. And so that's Tim and Chloe Bolin, who we featured last year in the Ironman Arizona video. Chloe raced again this year, and she happened to finish when Mike was announcing. And because she's been around the sport for so long, she recognized his voice.
That's pretty
And
cool.
so she didn't race until after he had retired. So it's cool that she got to get called in by
And then recognize it in the moment too. That's
and
pretty cool.
recognize it. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you guys did, like I said, you guys did a great job with the video. It really like captured the final year. I love the music you guys used, and so very well done with that.
Thanks. And no one will ever see it.
No one will ever see it.
I saw it. I liked it.
It's on our frame.
Man, Luis Alvarez, how many Ironmans was he at when we did Coeur d'Alene? I feel like it was like 170 something. But that's an absurd number of Ironmans in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and we
I don't know.
and I think we talked
That's a
about
good
this in
Yeah.
Panama City Beach, is that the crazies that do all of them, we're all there in Panama City Beach. And so we saw Luis and we saw Elizabeth and John Ragg, and I think the other Jeff Jonas and those other guys were there, although I don't know them as well as Elizabeth, John, and Luis. But those guys are nuts.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to talk about this, but we spent the morning at the airport with Elizabeth, and man, she is something else. Like Elizabeth Modell, she's done 117 Ironmans, but she's just a really high caliber person, a great person to talk to, super intelligent and well spoken and fun to hang out with. That kind of made my day on the flight home, was to get to hang out with her.
Yeah, it was cool.
Anyway, moving on. So we had Ironman Arizona that week. I got up Monday morning and headed to Miami. I drove one of our company vans from Boulder to Miami. And how weird is this? We had 2 events within 20 minutes of each other in Miami.
Totally unrelated,
Crazy.
not same clients, just
Totally unrelated. And the first one was the Rock and Rib Run, which is a 10K race. And we did a broadcast, but we did a smaller broadcast than usual with just 3 or 4 cameras, but it looked great.
Yeah, it's got a lot of potential that we can have like a world-class quality production for kind of like
affordable,
an affordable price for a local race like Flanagan's Rock and Rib Run.
And it's a little bit more than just a local race because they have a good prize purse.
Yeah.
And the best 10-kilometer runners in the world show up. I know when I tuned in and I was at another event, I was shocked. To me, it looks like they're running a 5K.
Yeah, I think was it 4 people broke the course record?
Yeah, the top 4 men went like sub 28.
Yeah, crazy fast.
Whoa.
I mean, it was like Miami flat, you know what I mean, and an out and back.
Beautiful
so no
morning,
turns.
no wind.
Yeah.
It was just, and then
That's crazy.
Did the women go?
I was
sub 30?
honestly 28 minutes. I can't even do a 5K in 28 minutes.
No, I know, me either.
And then you guys said you liked the customer, that they were
Yeah, they were
good
really,
folks.
and they came, they said hi, they checked in, but they didn't micromanage. They let us just kind of do our thing, and they trusted us, and it's really nice. And when people are just like, we hired you to do your job, and then they're like, we're super stoked at how you did your job. Like,
Yeah.
it's always a good feeling because like, we know what we're doing, but sometimes I feel first year events, new customers can come in and be a little overbearing, and they were the opposite of that. They were just like, if you guys need something, you give us a call. And
That's awesome.
yeah, the sprinklers did go off.
Man,
And our studio got soaked with, you know what? It's weird because
We planned everything else except for I didn't even think about the stage. Didn't even think about like our tent. We had a tarp over everything. We had all the sidewalls up. The tent like tied down. It was ready to be overnight. It was ready for the sprinklers. Didn't even think about the stage. We had 2 headsets. We had a monitor, and it literally looked like it had rained from inside the roof of the stage.
I couldn't have gotten it more wet with a hose if I tried.
It was the weirdest thing.
And it was a big stage. It was like a 20 by 16 Apex mobile stage.
Yeah.
And with a roof and sidewalls and
sprinklers.
We
Crazy.
came prepared.
It was unintentional. The sprinklers.
yes.
We were told that there was no sprinklers.
Because I'll be honest, more times than not, when sprinklers have gone off on me at an event,
It was on purpose.
I won't even get into those, but sprinklers going off at strike of midnight at a finish line at an Ironman once.
Oh, speak of sprinklers, Marbella. Sorry, I want to circle back to this. It was the women's race day, and right in front of the ASO, who's the broadcast company's studio, they had a sea can. The caterers bursted a water line, and it was like a geyser of water. And Johnny had to go over there and try and help get them to stop it. They ended up putting a crab pot, like a big boil pot on top of the thing to make the water stop coming into the.
Dang.
Jean-Michel said it was like all the ASO top guys and Ironman local guys like knee deep in mud, sand, water, just like trying to dig out a broken pipe.
Unintentional.
Unintentional.
It's the big difference in sprinkler fiascos.
So yeah, the sprinklers, the little sprinkle we had on the stuff was probably the biggest adversity we faced there. But
We were prepared. We had replacements for things that
spare everything.
Yeah.
And then Mel and Jared were out on the motos, great moto drivers. The gimbals make things look just so
Crazy.
good.
Yeah, that's a big. Not everybody uses them. I noticed the guys in Marbella were on gimbals.
Yeah,
and it does make just such a big difference. I think I love the cameras we use, but they don't fit on the gimbals great, and I think that's something that probably here, if there is an off season, that we probably need to look into. Is there going to be an off season?
I don't know.
It's right now.
This is it this week.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Yeah, these guys that aren't going to Qatar this afternoon.
Oh yeah,
They're like,
My
man,
off-season.
it's the
I'm gonna
off
have
season.
Thanksgiving at my house.
So with 2 events in Miami, and the other one was Ocean Man Miami, which is an open water swim race contest. You know, it's like any other event. Some people are just participants, and other people are out there racing to win.
I wanted to call it a meet because that's just the word that goes with swimming.
Yeah, it was cool.
Doesn't feel right.
It had a great vibe.
It was the cooler of the two, not to take anything away from Rock and Rib Run with the beer and the ribs and the fast runners, but you guys were hanging out on the beach in Miami.
On Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
We did get some rain one afternoon, but most of the time we had just perfect weather, like highs in the high 70s and just a light breeze. So, and really cool event. If I was going to say anything about Ocean Man is how much potential there is for that to be a global juggernaut in the event industry.
And so it's a bunch of distances, right? Like the big main show is what, 10 kilometers, and then they also have like a 5 and a 3 and a 2 and whatever.
Exactly. And they had a kids race, and then, like you said, 2, 5, 10 kilometers, multi-loop. So you come out of the water on like the 10K and 5K, and you can get water, and then you go back into the water. I met new timing people I'd never worked with. I met a bunch of event people I'd never worked with. The way these guys anchored their tents on the sand changed everything, I believe, about how tents should be anchored on the sand. Is that they buried a piece of plywood in the center of the tent, and that they buried it in the sand and then tied it to the tent. And we used the regular tent weights, and our tent survived, but there was times we were worried. And those tents, the way they anchored it, were like, no way are those going anywhere.
You also bumped into some people that you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. So somebody who has been in the event business from my beginning, but Fred Rismick, and that's actually Mike Riley's brother-in-law. But when I very first started in the event business back in 2005 and 6, for whatever reason, we had a bunch of events in Florida, and he was like a key player in those events. And so it was nice to get to catch up with him. I hadn't seen him in a few years, but has always been a good friend and supportive. And then Casey and Matt, and if you're part of the Ironman group, you probably remember Casey Taker, but she was one of the event organizers. And man, they did a good job. Like, you know, most of our customers do a good job. I don't think we do events very often if they're not done well. But man, the amount of times they're like, do you guys have enough food? Do you have enough drink? And just taking care of the team and the positive attitude. And it always helps that we got to stay at a super baller hotel. So
that is always a plus.
Yeah, kudos to Ocean Man. And then we made a video. Lane is the one. And that one you probably can go see if you go look at Ocean Man. And yeah, it's just easy to shoot video on Miami Beach because everything looks good. Especially I did a lot of the drone work and you're shooting down on crystal clear water. And so it just makes it easy.
That's what first like dropped my jaw is someone posted on our social like just a top down photo of the water, and I assume it's unedited.
I took that.
the blue, man, it's like Miami Dolphins blue, and that's just the way I mean, I've never been to Miami Beach, so I'm probably just ignorant here, but it blew me away. It looks like Caribbean postcards.
And Dylan, that's very perceptive that you saw that it was unedited because it's when I sucked that photo off the drone and got ready to edit it, I noticed the drone was just shooting 12 megapixel JPEGs.
Yeah, that's why I say that. I knew that story.
So all the photos I shot after that, I shot in RAW and JPEG. And something that we need to do better at as a company is unifying the way things are set up.
And then not change them.
So photos,
Yeah.
excuse me, photos should be 50 megapixel RAW and JPEG photos. So, and what that means is huge in size. And then JPEG is an uneditable format. I mean, you can do some color modification to it, but you can't really edit it. And then RAW contains all the visual data, and you can basically take a bad photo and make it good, or you can take a good photo and make it bad. But that's the whole idea behind shooting in RAW. And we do a similar kind of thing in video where we shoot in a specific format so we know what we're doing when we're done. But that was a weekend of me changing the settings on all the cameras to make them what we agreed upon.
We're going to get to the bottom of who's changing this stuff.
Who's changing this stuff? A couple last things on Ocean Man. We bought a new wireless microphone because we had one we were having problems with. And of course, technology is just steaming ahead. But this microphone, it's a Sennheiser, has an app, and the app tells you if the batteries are getting low or there's interference, which I thought was amazing.
It's magic.
Which is cool because, man, I remember
crazy.
when like the latest and greatest technology that felt like witchcraft was just when the receiver has a little battery icon. You don't have to guess what the microphone is at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now it just like gives you an email and boop, boop on your watch.
And it says the battery's at 25%. So then you
So
signal
cool.
the announcer over and swap out his batteries, and he's on his way. So that was, nobody loves just spending money, and we have dozens and dozens of wireless microphones, so we don't really need more. But in this case, we needed one more. And yeah, the new Sennheiser microphones are pretty slick.
Cool.
So-
and it's not their, super high end, like top of the line pro level. It's
No, this is like, I would just say barely pro level, like prosumer.
yeah. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah, and it's a good mic. If I had to grab a mic off the shelf, we have much more expensive ones. I would grab that one going forward just because of the app.
Yeah. Awesome.
Although mics don't die on us often. We're usually pretty good at changing batteries. It happens, but not often.
Yeah.
So, like we said, me and Marcus are heading to Qatar. I think we're heading to Qatar.
Maybe.
Like our flight got canceled yesterday. Kudos to American Airlines for trying to fix it, but the fix in the end wasn't an appropriate fix. So when they canceled our flight, we were on the train at the airport. We'd already gone through security, and it said, "Good news, your flight's canceled, but we've got you another route." And that was to go from Denver to Phoenix, Phoenix to Philly, Philly to JFK. That's overnight. Then spend the whole day in JFK and then catch another overnight flight to Qatar like tomorrow.
I don't see the problem here.
Yeah, and we were like, whoa.
Do you want to get there or not?
It's a 40-some hour flight all of a sudden.
That's crazy.
It went from 18 hours to 42 hours. So we went and talked to American Airlines, and they said, can we just get on the same flight tomorrow? And so we essentially got on the same flight tomorrow, which is now today. So we're going to wrap it up here, and me and Marcus are going to take another shot at getting there. But the big issue is we still don't have a flight home, and they're probably not going to let us on the flight to Qatar unless we can get that flight home straightened out.
Which is crazy because, I mean, nothing happened to your flight home. It hasn't happened yet.
I am
Airlines.
going to hold out judgment on Qatar Airlines until we either get to Qatar or get home from Qatar or something. But they're supposed to be the best airline. They win awards and they market themselves as like the great airline. But we'll see.
How did the carnet go for you
We'll
guys?
see.
Yeah, that's interesting when you're taking like high tech. So we're going to Qatar to do graphics, and we've built a graphics package, and we have to take a server with us to make it integrate with the TV station in Qatar. And so to be safe, you get a carnet, and that's basically you getting permission to import something into a country under the understanding that you're going to bring it home, that we're not going to sell it or leave it there, which we might leave it there. But so you go to this little bat phone at the airport, and the Customs and Border Patrol come out. They were really nice. They were super interested in what we do and why we were going in a positive way. Like they were just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they sign a few forms, stamp a few forms, and send you on your way. Overall, it's weird to me that they don't take custody of the item at that point, that they look at it, inspect it, and then they give it back to you. And you could just be like, well, let's just take all this out and put these other servers
right.
in. And not that we would do that, but it's weird that they verify that you're taking what you say you're taking, and then they give it to you and you go check in at your airline with it. You know, they don't like walk you to the desk or take it from you at that point.
I wish they did.
Yeah.
All
'Cause-
11 bags.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
we're light this trip because we're just
Yeah.
doing graphics. So we each have a suitcase, and then we have a road case that's got a server in it. So on the next episode of 500,000 Cats, we'll tell you how the Samla 200 and the beautiful country of Qatar is.
I do want to follow up. I had to look it up. You're going to the Samla 200,
The 200,
Which has
and there's
shooting.
been some confusion that they also have a Samla 100.
yes,
That's not the one you're going to.
correct.
The 200 is a 7-stage race, a grand total of 200 kilometers. That is swim, run, kayak, run, shoot, bike, run.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And
And sorry, the 100 does not have shooting, which is why I was confused.
And we've integrated GPS into 3D maps, which is something some of our customers have been asking for a long time. Like, how do we get these GPS devices to show up on a 3D map? And what's interesting about this one is we're not supplying the GPS. We're just doing all the back end technology through our SBot app, which someday is going to be public. It's still in beta right now.
Beta like version 156 or something.
65 or 66.
Yeah.
It's called 1.65.
Still version 1.
But it's super cool.
Yeah. Kudos to Tom.
Yeah, kudos to Tom on our team that you mouse over an athlete and it breaks out a graphic for him and stuff like that. So I have high hopes that everything's going to work. Everything has worked in our testing, and the customer seems happy with what we've done. And we'll report back when we get back. And then one last gripe is people that waste their money on customized license plates. I have my license plates say BCC on
I got ski plates, but they're not customized.
But Mark has got a Colorado plate, a real one, not just one
Yeah,
of the
a
fake
real
ones you
one.
hang on your wall, that says 500 Cats.
Sick.
Yep.
It is so cool.
Now you know how to go find his car.
Now you know how to go
Pretty
find his
sweet.
car. So I'm sure that's
They're also the old style of plates.
Did you get the
that's
green
right.
or
You
the
got
black?
green.
Classic green.
Classic
Yeah.
green. Sick.
But they don't do the
Yeah.
raised anymore, right? That's the point. Like it's still
It's
flat.
not raised.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
why they
like
started
printed.
changing them. That apparently the raised isn't as good.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nerd.
I got customized plates once that said BCC, but I made the mistake and I got them on what truck I was driving at the time, but it was a commercial vehicle, and you can't port them over to so they're on one of the company vans.
Oh, otherwise you'd have it on your personal car.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So
That's how I tell the vans apart, though.
did I just hear an airplane at your place, Marcus?
Yep.
That was weird.
Sure
Does anybody have anything else to add today? We made a nice AI song that gripes about autoresponders. It came out pretty good. I'm kind of happy about it. And then, I don't know, do you think we're going to have an off season?
We better. I want to go skiing if it starts to snow.
January's already looking weird.
Yeah, we've already got stuff.
There's a lot of events that we do every January, but we haven't really started yet. Like we haven't been like communicating with the customer yet, and I know they're going to show up.
Like who? Because I think you must not have been noticing.
Yeah,
the
he's not paying
communication.
attention.
Well, I know the running clinics is one of the big ones.
He's reached out. We're on the hook for.
But what about the yoga?
Same with yoga. It's
All right,
already
there we
reached
go.
out. It's on the ticket board.
Yeah, so we'll be doing a super cool event we did last year. It's a cross-country running clinic. But I'll tell you what, a cross-country coach, high school cross-country coach is a unique human being. As simple as that. And we met so many cool people last year at that. And I used to run cross-country, and there was a lot of famous runners. And, you know, it's a sport. I wish we did more cross-country running. I wish that was a sport we could broadcast. And kudos to whoever broadcast the NCAA championships last weekend. Was awesome. And a young lady from Adams State, which is here in Alamosa, Colorado, won the women's.
I saw a bunch of the controversy with the guys taking that inside line.
Cut in the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's debatable whether they got a big advantage
I
or
don't
anything.
think so, but it was just interesting that the internet made a big deal about it.
The internet made a big deal about it.
Because of how good the broadcast was, you could see what happened.
Because of how good that was, a drone shot that was showing people running outside the course. Like I said, I don't see it.
It was a hay bale with
a big advantage.
Yeah.
And the guy that won from New Mexico was not one of those runners.
I think next episode we should cover calls more than 90 days out.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that because this January it's going to be an issue.
We have an exceeding number of Teams calls in December, and not just from one customer, from multiple customers for events that are in
March.
100 literally the title is 120 days out. That's like next quarter.
Yeah, no, I got to get through Christmas here, guys.
I just want to get home from Qatar and get some downtime and then refocus.
It's cute
But
you think we're going to Qatar.
I think it's 50-50. I got to be honest.
I think it's 50-50.
I think it's 50-50. The thing that worries me is that it's an important event for the country, and it's an important event, obviously, for our customer and for us. And we have a piece of equipment that they're going to need.
How long do you think it would take to ship it there?
Do they need it?
No.
Yeah.
They want it.
They want it.
So
And if you guys can't go, can we figure out a solution? Yes.
I bet I could ask Gemini to figure out a solution to integrate FlowX graphics into a Grass Valley switcher. And somebody probably listening right now is just like, Alt-X.
They're just not going to like it. It's just OBS.
Control-L. So
It'd be fine.
yeah. So, but we got a cool device, which we should have talked about, but we're running out of time. We got a thing called a Vizert Tetra, and it really just takes our super high-tech cloud graphics and makes them compatible with switchers from the 60s and 70s. That, in all seriousness, that use key and fill, which is, I mean, still a lot of people use key and fill. It's just that we don't anymore.
We moved on.
We moved on.
Yeah.
I do have to put on the record for myself in defense that there is nothing about yoga on the ticket board, Marcus.
Project?
There was a ticket.
It's probably off board because we don't need
That's
to.
next year.
It's next year. So, yeah. And then there's a good chance we'll be back in Miami in January and
Arizona.
Rock and Roll, Arizona. And they're all Qatar potentially. Our understanding, and this isn't that the customer like promised us or anything, but if everything goes well at the Samla 200, we're hoping we'll be back at the Samla 100, which is in mid-January in Qatar. So, and I know Dylan and Ryan here are really disappointed that they're not going to Qatar. So There's a good chance like me or Marcus will let one of them go.
Yeah.
And/or
So here's our, we used to do AI songs, but then we learned instruments and we just made this one in the studio. And this is me on the bass. And it's a song about, it's the autoresponder blues.
I love that 2 minutes ago you were like, here's an AI song. And then just now you're like, it's not AI, we did it.
Out of office, but you're still in the crowd. Do you read them? Do you care? Or is my message just thin air? Why you gotta go? Me twice. First in silence, now in night.